So, what's up, Feed Me RN? So, you guys, I just wanted to talk today real quick. This is actually going to be a really quick video. Got some work I got to do on my website today, so I'm kind of trying to bust this out. But I wanted to touch on just kind of the market hype behind supplements and how, it's really easy to get lost in a mix of bullshit supplements that you just don't need. So I wanted to touch on really kind of what I focus on as far as supplements for me, for my clients. And really the key is, you guys, is that there's really just a couple key supplements that you really need. And aside from that, the rest is kind of whatever. I mean, you hear, first of all these testosterone boosters that people are putting out there on the market, you guys, look, Tribulus and all these different testosterone boosters, they may help you with a little bit of energy, focus when you're in the gym. But I think where people get mixed up is that they think that it's going to give them these massive gains, right? If you're brand new to the gym, we call them newbie gains, where literally you may be able to put on 10, 15 pounds in that first year that you're training, but that's because you're brand new into working out. And so that's not typical. Most of us, after that first 10, 15 pounds, we're lucky if we're putting on 5 pounds a year of quality lean muscle. And then that's really if you get your food right, if you get everything right. So the biggest thing that I see with the supplement industry that's ridiculous is, first of all, let's talk about creatine. I think creatine is a supplement that you should definitely have on your list. I take creatine all the time. One thing, though, that you'll notice is years back, you would constantly hear about creatine loading. And it's the biggest bullshit that I've ever heard. Because, you guys, creatine is naturally occurring in your body. So the other thing is, creatine is not like caffeine. It's not like you just take it or drink a cup of coffee and you get the effects from it right away. Creatine has to be built up in your system over time. So one thing that you really need to think about when you're purchasing products is you're being marketed to in a certain way because these companies want to make more money. Of course, they're going to tell you that you need to go through a loading phase to where you literally eat up half your creatine within a couple of days, and then you're going to go have to buy more creatine. It's bullshit. So just stick to the regular dose and take it every day, and be consistent with it. And because as it builds up in your system, all it's going to do is it's going to open up your energy pathways and actually allow you to have more energy during your workouts, to be more effective. And that's why I would say creatine by far, and it's not an expensive supplement, and the results that you get from it are actually really good. The other thing is, I've never noticed water retention with creatine. So you're going to hear it a lot that people are going to say, oh, it makes you retain water. But I mean, what makes you retain water, you guys, is heavy salt. If you're eating a ton of salt, then you're going to be retaining water. Or maybe you're not drinking enough water, so your body's not actually expelling it. So that is basically a big myth that I would just kind of get out of your head. The other thing is protein, right? Protein is obviously hugely important when you're trying to put on muscle. Even if you're trying to lose fat, protein is important. But the issue I've seen is with a lot of new people that are trying to put on mass, they go by these weight gainers. But you got to remember, you guys, protein is powdered food. Like, powdered protein is just powdered food. That's it. So buying like a mass builder is just basically putting more carbohydrates and more fats into your protein. So you're probably going to spend more money on a protein powder that's a mass builder. Instead, you can juice up your protein shake, add some fruit to it, add, spinach, add egg whites. That's going to basically increase your protein, your carbohydrates, add peanut butter to it. That's going to increase your fats. It's the same thing. It's just you're doing it with real food versus buying a protein powder. So just be aware that when you're being marketed these products for like building mass, it's like, okay, yeah, you're getting more calories, and that's why you're able to put on more weight, because it's just more calories. But you got to constantly be thinking also about the macros, the fats, the proteins, the carbohydrates, and how many of those you're taking in per day, because you want to be within the range that you're either trying to put on mass or lose weight. So just be very aware of that. The other one is glutamine. Glutamine, I think glutamine's awesome. It's a recovery. So basically, if you work out and like you're constantly sore, then a glutamine supplement's just going to basically help you to where you recover a little bit faster. You can get rid of some of that soreness. Along with that, you guys, don't be afraid to work out when you're sore. That's another big myth is if you're sore, you shouldn't be training your muscle because you're tearing it and you don't want to overtrain. Bullshit. It's not true. If you do the research on it, overtraining, you guys, the term overtraining would basically be you ending up in a hospital because you literally overexerted yourself. So just get that out of your head. So glutamine's another one. A good multivitamin, here nor there. You really got to look at the quality of the multivitamin because, again, if you're just taking a really low quality multivitamin, you're going to be pissing out half the vitamins anyway. And so the other thing is that I would say is, like, if you are buying multivitamins, I always split them in half because the amount of vitamins there's a reason why they're scored, because if you are really consistent with it, you would take half in the morning and half in the afternoon. That way you're getting the full effects of the actual multivitamin. So, and that's pretty much the gist of it. I could go into a lot of other products. The last one that I will touch on, obviously, is BCAAs. Now, you do get BCAAs when you drink, obviously, your protein powders, but I drink BCAAs throughout the entire day. And what BCAAs are is it's your amino acids, your essential amino acids, which is branched chain amino acids. That's what BCAAs stand for. And basically what it does is it allows your body to preserve muscle while you're trying to burn fat. So if you are, let's say, doing fasted cardio in the morning, BCAAs are a great product to actually have in your water while you're doing your fasted cardio, because then you still have the protein aminos, your essential amino acids that are going to stop your body from breaking down muscle, and it actually allows your body to break down fat instead of the muscle that you've been working so hard to attain. So BCAAs are, I probably should have mentioned those first. They're actually probably one of my favorite products. Protein shakes, depends on, honestly, if I'm in a bulk or in a cut. It depends on when I have them or how much of them I have, but I actually prefer whole food if you can do whole food, because, again, remember, you guys, that these are supplements. They are supplementing your diet. It's not necessarily a replacement. It's good to do if, obviously, you're short on time and you need to have food in you. But one last point is, before we end this, is just basically one of the biggest things that frustrates me about the food industry, you guys, is, again, you're being marketed to all the time. And these companies are very smart in how they do it. Take breakfast, for instance. I'm sure you've all heard 1,000 freaking times that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but it's nonsense. Okay? All breakfast is when you break your fast. They've actually dug back into the research of when this actually came about, saying that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And the scientists that were attached to this study had the last name of Post and the last name of Kellogg's. So think about that for a second. The two largest cereal manufacturers in the world are actually the ones that came out and said that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Put two and two together, it's obvious that you're being marketed a product, okay? We all have the idea that it's not okay to be hungry, but it is okay to be hungry in some instances. In fact, in some instances, fasting is an incredible way to balance out hormones, to balance out your blood sugar levels. And I think that we all have the idea of when we're hungry, we should eat, and which is fine, but it depends on what your goals are and what you're trying to do. It's more based on your total calorie intake for the day. If you're trying to lose weight, obviously you need to be in you need to be depleted of calories, basically a negative energy expenditure. Or if you're trying to put on muscle, remember, you can't really effectively burn fat and gain muscle at the same time. It is possible with some people, especially if you have really good genetics, but for the most part, you're going to be focusing on one of the two. If you're trying to bulk, you need to be in a calorie surplus every day, lifting heavy things, and basically you're going to grow because of it. Cutting weight, obviously, it's a dance with your macros because you need to know where you need to be at for your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates every single day. And basically, you need to be in a negative energy surplus, meaning that you're eating less calories than you're expending every single day. And that's going to be where your weight loss comes in. So the reason why you have to really focus on your macros, you guys, the fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, is only because if you're too high in one versus the other, your body's going to have a harder time to release the fat. Also, if you're not balancing them throughout the day and you go work out really hard, and let's say that you don't have protein in you or your branched chain amino acids, your body's really smart in protecting itself. So it's going to switch modes and try to burn muscle instead of fat, because muscle is actually a little bit easier as far as putting energy out. So that's why there's a fine dance that you have to really pay attention to. But those are basically the 5 supplements that I would highly recommend. And I'll even put a link. I'm constantly looking through online to basically find where it is to find these supplements at the best cost. So I'll put some links in the description of the video, because this is going on YouTube as well, to where you guys can actually, find these products at a cheap rate. So, and other than that, yeah, this is Joshua Zitting from joshuazittingfit.com. And if you guys haven't, if you're on my YouTube, click the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, or check me out on Instagram as well, Instagram at Joshua Zitting. And you are very welcome, Feed Me RN. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.